Testing, testing. Okay. It is 2:01, according to the clock back there, and I think all of our clocks. So, as your president, I'm calling the meeting to order. Under Article 3, Section 304 of our bylaws, we are required to have 30 members to have a quorum. I stopped counting at 30, so I am declaring that we have a quorum. I'm really excited about this. Is our first membership quarterly meeting. And what excellent attendance. I know you're really here for the books. And then I've been told that we have some people that are here for the party afterward, the wine, and that we have some people that we're going to be interfering with their naps. So we're going to try to, as always, balance among all of us and try to stay within an hour, and then we're going to have the book signing in the back. And so I'm going to call on Cynthia Leach to present our first guest and presenter.
Good afternoon. I know most of you, but there's so many new people that I haven't met yet, so I look forward to meeting you soon. Camille asked me to talk a little bit about our new ACC Endowed Scholarship. Late last year, your Residents Association Executive Committee, under the leadership of the President then, Boyd Taylor, voted to fund a permanent scholarship at ACC. Thank you, Boyd, for your support in that endeavor, and thank you, Camille, for your future support in this endeavor. Because our scholarship endowment will not earn enough to give a scholarship in the fall, Chuck has generously offered to donate $2,000, which will mean that we can give two $1,000 scholarships this fall. Hopefully in the future there'll be a lot more. The Westminster Residence Scholarship will benefit the students at ACC as well as Westminster and the residents here. In awarding scholarships, we'll be able to focus on areas of study where Westminster finds employee shortages. After meeting with Chuck and some of his executive staff, this year the scholarships will go to culinary students who we hope will be able to work at Westminster while they're going to school. I understand that he's entertaining a group of those next week, so that'll be exciting for us, I think. Ideally, part of our future fundraising efforts here will go to building the scholarship, thereby allowing us to offer more and larger scholarships. Chuck has committed to assisting with that. Also, we appreciate your individual donations to our scholarship fund for such events as recognizing new babies, birthdays, simple thank yous to people that have done favors for you. So keep that in mind. There's no pressure to do this, but we'd love for you to keep that in mind, and hopefully we'll grow our scholarship significantly. I will be the liaison between Westminster and ACC, and glad to assist you with any questions you might have as you begin to think about making a donation or any other related issue. As a note of clarification, Westminster has an in-house tuition reimbursement scholarship program for current employees. And Chuck will be talking about his fundraising efforts for that scholarship fund probably later today. Amy Balcom is the Executive Director of the Austin Community Foundation, where our scholarship is located, and she'll tell you more about it now. So please help me join welcoming Amy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me. It's a joy to be here. It's certainly not my first visit here. I know several of you in the crowd, and especially those on the Residents Association board. December 31st, we received a $15,000 check from the Westminster Residents Association, and that began our endowed scholarship. And so if you're unfamiliar with an endowment, what that means is we invest that money and we don't touch that $15,000. The scholarship comes from the interest and dividends we receive from the investment on it. So in other words, this scholarship will be there forever, because we're never gonna touch that initial capital that you gave. But that doesn't mean you can't keep giving to it, as she said, in honor or memory of anybody, or just because you wanna feel good about helping somebody else. A little bit about Austin Community College. Have any of you attended Austin Community College? Got any alums or ex-students? I see some hands out there. We are 70,000 students strong. We have over 100 programs, 11 campuses. We serve 6 different counties, and we, excuse me, we offer, as you know, associate degrees and certificates, but you may not know that we also have 3 bachelor degrees that we offer in nursing, in cyber technology, and in manufacturing. And the governor's approved that we can do 2 more, so in the future you'll hear about a couple more. So we have associates and bachelor's degrees. So the foundation, the Austin Community College Foundation, their sole purpose is to help students financially. And so 90% of what we do is scholarships. And so that's where your scholarship will reside. The good news is, you as an association decided what you wanted the scholarship eligibility to be. And so for the first one, it's going to be for a culinary program, because you could use more of those workers here, right? And you certainly appreciate when they're here and do a good job. But we do the work behind it. So we have a scholarship application that they'll fill out, and based on how they answer the questions, it will match them to that scholarship. And then we have committees of faculty and staff that award those scholarships. So you don't have to do any of the work. And that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Our students obviously benefit, but your money goes even further at ACC. The average four-year public institution, 1 year, costs close to $10,000. For 1 year at ACC, it's $2,550. So we are almost 75% less in cost than four-year public institutions. And so that really is beneficial to our students, and it means that our money can go further in helping them gain that education to better their life and get them in careers that can be helpful to you here and in our society in general. We are a 501c3, which means that any donation you make is tax deductible. You'll receive a charitable deduction acknowledgement for that. We will accept money in pretty much any way you'll give it to us. I know you're not surprised to hear that. I've even started to learn a little bit about cryptocurrency, but please don't tax me on it. But checks, credit cards, we're happy to take donations from family trust, electronic transfers, required minimum distributions, and we're happy to help take that money and give it to a good cause. So all of those are opportunities for you that you can give. And we know this is going to be here forever. I want you to know that you are welcome to give individually too. We want this to be a scholarship that represents all of you, but some of you may choose to give it another way. I'll acknowledge Cynthia Leach has done an endowed scholarship. Audrey Munin, right here, she has given 4 scholarships this year. And so any of you who might be interested in giving scholarships as an individual or a family, please let me know. I'd be happy to work with you. Cynthia, what have I not covered?
I think you covered it all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cynthia has all of my contact information that you can reach me anytime. But I want to celebrate. I bought a big fake check, and so I want to take it in front of your great balloons to celebrate, so that we can have a memorial, photo of your donation. And we so appreciate it, because I know that it doesn't matter if you give a little bit or a lot. It makes a difference in a student's life. And it may not just affect them, but their family and generations to come. So we truly appreciate what you do for us.
Okay, we're gonna do the picture right now, right here. And Chuck, we need you to come join us for this picture, please. Let's see, who are we missing? And while we're doing this real quick, if you would get out your sheet about moment of remembrance. We're going to take a little bit of time as soon as the picture is done to honor and remember those that we've lost in this quarter. So you may want to begin your reflection on those names right now.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Okay, does everybody have their sheet, or does anybody need a sheet? Okay. In whatever way that you wish to honor any one or all or several of these folks, we're gonna take a moment right now to bow our heads, or eyes wide open, however you want, and think about these dear, dear friends. Thank you. Next, we have a number of new residents. You also have the handout sheet of the names of the new residents for this first quarter in 2022. With those of you that are in the room, if we have any in the room, just hold your hand up, please. All right, good, 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 good. Thank you, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's really important that you continue to wear your new resident tag. The Iresons will be reminding you, and your 4 captains will be reminding you. Everyone went through the experience you're going through now of such a change in your life. So you have lots of folks here that are willing to welcome you and sometimes even just help you find your way around if you get lost. It's easy to get lost here. One other thing I want to point out to you is what is the Westminster Residents Association? We're going to be constantly updating, so I did notice one error that I didn't catch. So we'll be updating this, but we do have a separate building and grounds committee. We have a landscaping, we have a building and a landscaping, and we'll get that changed. But if there's anything else, just let me know. But this should be a handy front and back page. Thank you to Boyd for developing this, and thank you to Ruth for making it available to everyone. The next person I'd like to call up is Jerry Smith to give us an update on the wine tasting event.
Good afternoon. I am here today to talk about our annual fundraiser. This year, it is a wine tasting event. I originally was to talk to you about buying tickets, but the ticket sales have gone very well.
Yay. Thank you.
So I will just tell you.
Jerry, it's hard to hear when you pull the mic a little closer.
Oh,
Talk a little closer.
okay. That better? Okay. So I will tell you that you can still make a donation to the Residents Association. And if you would like to write a check for that, you can make it out to WRA, put on the check donation, and you can either put it in my box or Cubby over at Windsor, or in Bobby Collins at the Preston. Now, speaking of Bobby Collins, she chaired this event, and she had a great committee to do this. A lot of salespersons. Bobby, would you please stand up? Now, would her committee and those of the Residents Association Executive Committee who sold tickets, please stand up. Come on, stand up, you all were great.
Jerry, they're so tired they couldn't.
That's maybe it. Okay, they were quite a team. appreciate it very much. This has been a good annual fundraiser and fundraiser. So next year, we'll have another one. It is annual, and we'll have some creative thing to do. So we'll have fun this time. Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, Jerry. And I'd like to ask Boyd Taylor and Lori Humphries to come up. And while they're coming, Boyd, can you come on up? And Lori, can you come on up? Boyd's gonna talk about the Westminster History book, and Lori's gonna talk about Westminster Writers Journal. And while they're coming, I want to give a round of applause to Chuck, because this was his idea, the wine tasting. Chuck said, well, what about? So thank you, Chuck. You're always bringing me, always coming up with great ideas.
Providing all the food.
Yeah, you're providing all the food.
That's right, yeah. Thank you, Camille. A year and a half ago, Chuck asked me if I would lead a group of residents in updating Dr. Margaret Berry's book, Westminster Manor, the First 35 Years. He wanted it done in time for Westminster's 55th anniversary on April 1st. And I said yes. Of course, I didn't have any idea what I was getting into. I assembled a team of interested volunteer residents, and we discussed it and decided on something different from Dr. Berry's book. Hers is a reference book. It's a chronological study of Westminster in great detail from the beginning for the first 35 years. But we proposed to Chuck a series of essays about Westminster from the beginning to 2022 with lots of pictures. Chuck liked the idea, and the result is Westminster at 55, a copy of which you'll be getting today. This book is a collection of freestanding essays. Each can be read alone. You don't have to start at the beginning of this book and read through it. You can dip in and select the topic that you're interested in, or you can just look at the pictures, and there are lots of them. It's kind of a coffee table book, and it's one that we hope you'll be happy to have in your home and to share with your family and friends. It's been a real privilege for me to lead this effort. We had our fits and starts, we had our ups and downs. These are very talented people, and they all had their own ideas. But I never doubted that we would work our way through any differences and produce a book that we'd all be proud of. And we have, and it's on time.
Yay, thank you.
Before I introduce the project team, I want to thank Olga Villarreal, who found every file we asked for, and Tessa Gonzalez and Danny Roach for their help. I want to thank Sheldon Lloyd, who enhanced the photos, the old photos you see in the halls, so that they'd be usable in the book. And I want to thank Chuck, of course, for all his support, and all the rest of his team members who contributed wholeheartedly to the effort. And now to the project team. Each essay in Westminster at 55 tells a story. There's an essay about the founders, the odds against them, and what they achieved. An essay about the people who lived here or played a role in governing this place and their success in finding a common purpose. An essay about the land and about the buildings and about the money, always the money. One on health care and the transition from a hospital to the arbor. The role of faith from our Presbyterian roots to the multi-faith community that we're in today. Don Davis, Lori Humphreys, Phyllis Schenken, Bob Rudershauser, Don Mukash, and I wrote essays. And I want to thank all of my fellow essayists for the fine work they did. There's a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of effort and digging that went into those essays. Bill Schluch was our copy editor, and he brought a common sensibility to the essays. Thank you, Bill. Nancy Simons designed the beautiful cover and oversaw the layout of the book, and I think you'll find it a pleasure to look at as well as to read. Thank you, Nancy. And finally, there's Jim Woodrick. What can I say about his contribution other than he was the man? He digitized everything so the essayists could use them. All the Westminster and WRA minutes, all the annual reports, all the loan agreements, all the photos, and he scoured the digital world for the best possible image to use in the book. He copied the Westminster records at the First Presbyterian Church and at the Austin History Center and God knows where else. He was the keeper of the master file. And so Jim Woodrick's fingerprints are all over this book. They're on every page. Thank you, Jim. So it's been a long journey, but what a trip. And I want to thank each of the members of the project team. And if you would all please stand now so that we can, so that everyone can recognize you and give you their hand of applause, please.
Table because you all are available at the end of this to both pick up each resident in resident apartment can pick up one copy and go through the line, and all these people are available to sign. So if you too, I saw you guys were going back to that table. Okay, Lori. Westminster Writers Journal.
Can you hear me? A little bit louder. Okay, better?
Yes.
Thank you. This is lovely. It's wonderful to see everybody. I have to say something before I begin to talk about the journal, and that is to genuinely thank Boyd Taylor, not only for his leadership on the journal or as managing editor, but his essential leadership on a different project, Westminster at 55. Every member of the Westminster history team did their part and more. But the book you will receive is the result of his vision, enthusiasm, and hard work. Thank you, Boyd. It's been a privilege working with you. I think you'll really enjoy this book. It's very interesting. Whoever would have thought. The first edition of the Westminster Writers Journal appeared 3 years ago. Mike Roche is here. He was one of the first editors. Today we are preparing for our fourth, which should arrive in September. Come on and join us. We welcome you to join the growing number of authors, be you poet, essayist, fiction, or memoir writer, that make the journal possible. Our final submission date is April 30th. I think we've occasionally stretched it, but not very often. And if my math is correct, that means you have 26 days to become a Westminster writer. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you all in the journal. Thank you.
We have some special guests here today, and I'd like to ask Paul Hilvers to come up and introduce our board members that are with us today. And while he comes, I'd just like to say that Paul and I have a mutual admiration society. We have worked together professionally 45 25 or somewhat years. You can tell the quality of a person's life and strategies and everything else by who they play poker with. Tibby will vouch for that, and some of the others. But I know every one of the people that he plays poker with as well. So we are so honored to have this man who had his family here. Those of you that were here Friday heard his testimony and witness about what a fabulous experience, challenging as all of us will have at some point or the other if we haven't already. But Paul, thank you so much for your leadership, your continual awesome questions at the board meetings. And if you will recognize the other board members that are here, thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. It's fun to have a mutual admiration society with the president of the Resident Association. It is always an honor to represent the board of directors of Westminster. We have, I think, 4 members here, and we might have more, but I didn't catch them if they came in. I know we have Diane Williams. Diane, could you stand up? I know that we have Steve Spurlock. Steve, I know you're here. I know we have 2 of our resident members that are here, the 2 residents, Jim Woodrick, who, this is, I guess every day is Jim Woodrick Day at Westminster. And Sheldon Lloyd. Sheldon, is there any other current member that I didn't recognize? Who is it?
Diana Denise.
Where's Diana? Oh, there you are. Diana is the chair of our Health and Wellness Committee and gives the most thorough reports of any committee member we have. I will say this real quickly. One, again, it was a great honor to be here the other day. I want to recognize Resident Association, past members of the board. Boyd Taylor, I see you here. Max Sherman, I see you here. Any other resident members who were here, resident members of the board that used to serve?
Tibby's brother.
Where's Tibby? Yeah, Tibby's here. I want to just acknowledge again the work that you have done to help make this board so much better. I will just say one final thing. I will let my nap get interrupted every Monday that y'all have this meeting. But I fell into the category of y'all interfere with my nap. So I am glad that you're here. We are excited about the future of this new development, and we are so honored to be your leadership team. And it's really very easy when you have someone as dedicated and committed and passionate about his work as Chuck Borst is. How many times Chuck and his team do an unbelievable job, as you know. They can't get enough credit for what they do. It's fun to watch him work and to watch his executive team work. And I want you to know, Chuck, that you do not go unappreciated. I think you got a lot of appreciation at the event the other day, and so I'm going to stop right there. I don't want you to go too overboard. Thank you all very much.
Okay, now we'll hear a treasurer's report from Sharon Verlander.
Here. This is my first one, guys. I'm replacing a good friend and a lady that I respected. And I had lunch with her yesterday. We took her out for margaritas and Mexican food. Mary Bowles.
The power of being the director, shortest in history.
Fire marshal's here. One more time.
numbers are not fun to a lot of people and they're not interested. But I wanna give you a bunch and try to explain what the executive committee of the Resident Association spent your money on. The report I'm gonna give you covers the period from January 1, 2022 through March 31, 2022. Excuse me. On January 1 of 2022, we had $5,567.62 in the Westminster Manor Residents Association Frost Bank operating account. Income for the first quarter of 2022 was hidden treasures, $3,364.49.
Thank you. All the hidden treasures folks, stand up. All the hidden treasures folks, don't be shy. Stand up and thank Miss Julie for her leadership. Charlie, I know you're here. Charlie, stand up, Charlie. All right, great. Thank you all. Thank you.
This $3,300 came from your donations to Hidden Treasures and the committee's very, very hard work of selling this stuff. We've helped a lot of associates get some nice furniture that they've been able to take home with them and other special things. We also received a donation for $200, and we received interest on a certificate of deposit number 5474 in the amount of $315.06. This gave the Resident Association a total income for the first quarter of 2022 of $3,879.55. Our expenses for the quarter were: the Residents Association donated $570 to the Friendship Fund. This is in memory of all residents that have passed. The printing of the banner, $350.48. Texas Comptroller, sales tax for Hidden Treasure income, $537.19. And books were purchased for the library in the amount of $116.87. Our total expenses was $1,574.54. You take the income, you subtract the expenses, and you come out with a net ordinary income of $2,305.01. In February of 2022, we received $1,202.50 from the Westminster Little Store for the sale of the Westminster Writers' Journal. The Writers' Journal Fund currently has a balance of $2,417.82 for its next publication. On February 21, 2022, we cashed in a certificate of deposit for $12,500, and this was deposited into our general operating account. A special library fund was set up in December in the amount of $1,000. This fund was set up through a donation in honor of a resident, but it can only be used for library purposes. So we can't add that to our general fund. We still have 2 certificates of deposit on hand totaling $25,000. Each certificate is $12,500. All the numbers, yada, yada, yada. Our adjusted bank balance in the Frost Bank operating account as of March 31, 2022 was $21,575.13. That's it, guys.
business meeting, and this is the only item that we need to have a motion for acceptance of this report. Cynthia Leach moves to make the motion, and Melissa Winans was the first one to have her hand up. I couldn't see her because of the person in front, but anyway, thank you. All in favor? Oh, well, let me ask, are there any questions of Sharon before she leaves the podium? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Okay. Our final report is the executive director's report, and so Chuck, if you, I don't know if you want to do it here or down there, up here. Okay, today's a very special day for Chuck. He's 21 today.
Please don't do this.
We're gonna sing happy birthday to Chuck. And I can't sing very well, so come on, help me out here. Julie, help me out. Cooks, help me out. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chuck. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much. Westminster's still a few years older than I am, so that's good news. So, every year we do an employee award ceremony. I'm gonna try to play this one, but it's not playing sound, so forgive me. Are you glad that this audio system's gonna be replaced soon? Me too. Me too. All right, I give up. Next time, I'll do it for my chat. How's that sound? You'll notice that I don't have any COVID slides in here. So I'm tired of talking about it. I'm sure you're tired of listening. We don't have any active cases, suffice it to say. I do have a couple videos in here that shows the expansion buildings and their progress. And that doesn't have sound, so we can watch that together. A year goes by really quickly in this video. So for my birthday today, I'm hoping to get approval by the fire marshal to get our TPO, Temporary Certificate of Occupancy, TCO. Temporary. Yeah, so we can move furniture in. We can't move people in until we get the permanent certificate of occupancy, which we hope to get between now and the 11th when the first person's scheduled to move in. Nothing like doing everything at the last minute in Austin, Texas. Did everybody like the space this Friday? Yeah. Told you it looked great in my head. Turned out all right. So how about the Carlisle building? We're not nearly as far along there, but we only have 8 months and 26 days, if you can believe that. And this is going to be finished as well. And we're counting down. We know 8 months and 26 days because it's that long until we can park on site again. So our associates are very excited about that. If you like parking garages, the Carlisle is the building for you. It's a beautiful parking garage. 3 levels. Nice thin columns so that you won't run into them as well as you did in the winter. So these are the spaces that are yet to come, right? You have the the cocktail lounge that will be coming with the Carlisle building, and then the new dining room. And I've talked about the menu for this being a little heavier, maybe not quite as healthy as the bistro is. So you may not want to go here all the time, maybe once a week kind of thing. And again, we're counting down the days till we're parking on site. Just to give you a little idea, when we move the rehabilitation space that they're currently occupied on the second floor, that gets moved to the new building, the new Windsor expansion. And then the offices and area that they're in gets gutted and reconfigured into healthcare center administration offices. So their offices will move upstairs to the second floor. And the first floor where they're at now gets reconfigured into offices to support me and Olga and Human Resources. And then we're gonna build a new meeting lounge space. It's a meeting room basically that we'll use for board meetings. So we won't be tying up the private dining room anymore. And also residents can use this space for meetings as well. And that'll be on the first floor of the Windsor. Then when the Carlisle is finished, our memory care is on the first floor of the Windsor building, and it will move to the Carlisle building. And then that first floor, which is now memory care, that green area, that'll be converted to short-term rehab, which we're really good at. So we'll have this new therapy gym, the rehab space that you walked through this past Friday is probably the nicest in Texas. And we'll continue to do a really great job with our rehabilitation. So that should give you great security. Just some updates from around the community. We are continuing to pull wires and prepare the speaker system for both the bistro and the corridors in Harrisville Hall. We're getting ready to install AV equipment. You can see this is a temporary drop-down screen. We've ordered a permanent drop-down screen. There's also screens going to be installed at the edges of each of the walls there. The AV, all of the microphones are being replaced with new digital microphones. The projector system will be a laser projector system, so it's supposed to be a really sharp picture. We won't have to worry about the lighting so much with the new screens and the new projector. So lots of improvements coming to this area soon. I know you're tired of hearing it, but COVID delays causes manufacturer delays. And some of it's sitting on ships out in the harbor, I'm sure, but as we get those pieces of equipment in, we'll install those. You may have seen a lady walking around the last few days taking pictures of all the signs. She's not crazy. She's actually part of a signage company that's working for us and assessing all of her signage, and it's going to be tying all the buildings together so the signage is similar across the campus and it works better than it did before. So that's a project we're working on. Spectrum cable boxes are still being installed. We should be finishing up the Preston this week and moving to the Windsor soon. As we're installing these new cable boxes, 1890 is working better. Typically, we're also we're waiting on a piece of equipment that's causing some problems on 1890 now. Should be fixed pretty soon. Spectrum Wi-Fi will be installed, all campus. This will bring Wi-Fi to your apartments. So if the Inspire Wi-Fi that we have in the corridors is running slowly, you have an alternative. And this is supposed to be really fast Wi-Fi, like college dorm Wi-Fi. So it should be really good for you all. Keyless entry system is still to begin in April. And the solar roof project is scheduled to start on the Preston building, and that's June the 6th that we think that project will start. We just added our first hybrid vehicle. I think I mentioned this in my chat. It gets about 78 miles to the gallon, which is pretty cool. It's a Lincoln, it's very comfortable, and we're going to start going hybrid with all of our vehicles. Really quickly, I think I went over most of this in my chat recently. I did want to mention that Ruth Sanil is going to be receiving a Service Excellence Award from Leading Age Texas next month in Dallas. So congratulations, Ruth. Let's give her a big round of applause. Great job, Ruth. Lots of fun. So I'm going to do what I did to you on your 50th anniversary, which is wear you out. Have so much fun you can't stand it. You're gonna beg me to stop. Your wine tasting's one of them, of course. We're gonna have music and dance night with the swing orchestra on April the 7th. Outdoor games day on April the 11th, which I hope you all come out and play some games with us in the Windsor Courtyard. We're gonna show you all the things that the Windsor Courtyard can be used for, including the bocce ball court, which is now decomposed granite as opposed to a mud pit, which should work out better. Jazz night on April the 12th, Farm Day at Westminster, April the 13th. I'm not sure what that involves, but watch where you step. Songs and stories from World Troubadour on April the 13th, Easter show on April the 17th, Rejuvenate April the 18th. I think that involves massages, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Not by me either, somebody that's talented. Hawaiian Dance Night on April the 18th. Concert by Austin Flute Choir on April the 19th. Wow, just keep wine tasting fundraiser. That's the 20th? 20th? Classical Extravaganza by the Austin Chamber Music Center, April 21st. Earth Day Petting Zoo, also watch out where you step, on the 22nd. Picnic in the Park, yes, I'll be going along on the 25th. Sing, 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 I won't be there for that, you really don't want me there. April 26th. Outdoor Movie Night on April the 27th. My gift to you, besides the history book, is Comedy Night with Bob Stromberg on April the 28th. We'll have a special evening meal. There'll be a prefix menu and wine to loosen you up, and then we'll all come up here and have a great show. And outdoor fun music by the Yes Ma'am Brass Band on April the 29th. So that's a great month, is it not? I really do appreciate Boyd and the entire group of contributors to the Westminster 55. It's a really special project. I thought it'd be better than coasters or something like that. Yeah. It's a great story, and we continue to write a great story together. I appreciate you all very much, and thank you to the group for putting this together. These will be available back there in the back, and hopefully the contributors will be signing them. I would like one signed too, please. That's my gift to you all as well. You may have noticed a new flag out on our flagpole. The U.S. flag's covering it up a little bit, so we'll probably need to remove that. No, I'm just kidding. But it's just our Westminster senior living flag. We're going to put some on the buildings as well, just to differentiate ourselves from our neighbors. Some people think that we live at TxDOT. Can you believe that? I find it hard to believe, but it's true. Just to remind you about the solar project, it's really very interesting. We're going to have readouts in each of the lobbies that will show how much power is being produced by our solar project every moment of the day. And in general, we're going to be saving about $1.5 million over the life of the project. And we actually reduced the energy use by 92 family homes, if you can imagine that, by the use of our solar project. And that's per year. And you multiply that times 25 years. That's really, really great. This is what it looks like. Not that we'll spend a lot of time looking at it. Lastly, yes, we are fundraising for the Associate Scholarship Fund. This is a fund that we've had for many years. The Residents Association has donated to it for several years now. I wanted to grow this fund, and I thought our 55th anniversary was a great opportunity to do that. One of the things I did was reach out to our strategic partners and ask them for $5,500 to donate to Westminster for this cause in honor of our 55th anniversary. Many of them, including Life Care Services, was first in line to donate that. We're at $41,755 so far. I put a letter in your boxes asking you to donate. Sounds like we're talking about donations a lot today. This is a great cause. There's a story in the elevators that talks about Romario, one of our associates, and how he's used the fund. Peter Mathua in healthcare, who's a charge nurse for us, used the tuition reimbursement fund. So it really does help all of our associates. If you would like to, I'd appreciate your donation, and I'm gonna continue to work with our strategic partners. My goal is to raise $100,000, so we're about halfway there. I appreciate anything above $100,000 we'll be donating to the ACC Endowment Fund that the Residents Association helped created. Lastly, it's that time of year again, or 2 years, 3 years. It's time to do a resident experience survey. And this is not the US News survey, and I apologize for the way that one rolled out. It was not my idea, but we had to participate, or we, may not have been recognized as a top place to live. But this survey is really our resident experience survey. The last time we did it was 2019. We're really required to do it every couple of years, but we were in the midst of the expansion. We had just started the expansion, and it just wasn't good timing. So it's time to do this again. The last time we did it, 2019, we received a 95% overall satisfaction. It ranked us eighth amongst the 150 life care service communities. I think we're number one. To get number one, we need to be, around 97, 98%. We're gonna roll out this survey. The survey will run from June 1st to June 21st. We will introduce the survey with the floor ambassadors. We'll be delivering them directly to your apartments through our concierge security. And then the floor ambassadors are gonna check in with you to make sure that you have filled them out. Even if you hate us, fill it out, okay? Please, I'd like to get 100% participation. But there are several questions on the survey that are really important. And even if you want to give me a 2, I'd like you to give all of these questions a 5. And those questions are, I'm very satisfied with Westminster as a place to live. I think we can all say that we would strongly agree that Westminster is an awesome place to live, right? Yes. Okay. I would recommend Westminster to my friends and family members. Most of you do that all the time. I hear it myself. I feel at home at Westminster is another question. And the reason these questions matter so much is they are the questions that we get judged against other communities for. So the higher rankings or higher percentages we get here, the better we look against our competitors. The better we look against our competitors, the higher our occupancy is, and the lower your monthly service fees are. You like that? I thought you might. Engagement. I feel like I have a voice in my community. You have a voice. I hear you all the time. Right? Through your committees, through the Residents Association, through conversations with me or the department heads, we hear you. I feel a sense of belonging in my community. This room looks like a lot of folks that belong to me. So hopefully you feel that way. My community helps me maintain all aspects of my well-being, physical, mental, social, spiritual, and emotional. My community helps me to live my life with purpose. So, think 5. And it happens to be Westminster's 55th anniversary. And my 15th year here. What number are you gonna think? Yes, I love you for it. Thank you very much. I appreciate you so much. I do want you to provide comments. There's a special section in each resident experience survey where you can provide comments, and if that's faster Wi-Fi, or healthier menus, or less healthy menus, or whatever it happens to be, write those comments, whatever they are. If you want to see more swimming classes, or whatever it happens to be. Maybe you don't like the toilet paper in our public restrooms. Whatever it happens to be, write those comments down in that survey. But think 5. Every floor that achieves 100% participation, I won't know what your scores are because they get mailed in and I don't know what those are until the end, and then I don't know what you individually put on those. They're completely confidential, but everybody that has 100% participation, and we will know that through your floor ambassadors, gets a cocktail party. and I will be there to have a drink with you. And some very nice hors d'oeuvres, okay? That's all I have. Thank you, as always, for making us think of a great place to live and work.
Okay, this is a business meeting. I know of no other business, but if anyone has questions or business you would like to present at this time, yes, sir. Can I? Yes, sir.
What would be the possibility of the residents getting a copy of the financial statement of the nonprofits, which would give a breakdown of what our money's going for and the amount that we owe to the management company of the house? I know we have 500 days, 500 days of fall. 1,500 days of cash flow, and I'd like to know exactly how many hundreds of thousands of dollars that is. And I know I've only been here 6 months, but like the rest of you, I got a lot invested in this money.
Yes, you do. And would you state your name? I can't.
John Self.
Thank you, John Self.
It'll be out in the annual report that will be ready in May.
And let me just clarify, the Residents Association has about $250,000, $225,000 for the Resident Appreciation Fund. And then we have overall maybe 30,000, you're 21,000. So we are about the business of the Resident Association. And that's governed by your elected executive committee. And anytime anybody wants to know about that, that's what Sharon presented on, and Lori posts those reports. Lori and Sharon work together to post those reports. And then if you have a question, you can always talk to Sharon as well as your elected treasurer. And then the big budget, which I'm learning a lot about as one of your representatives on the board, is we had a 3-hour and about that thick book orientation for the two of us, Jim and I, that were new to the board. And there is a lot in that, but I think the annual report is a very, very good summary. And once again, any questions that you have, you are free to ask, and we will do our best between Chuck on behalf of the governing board and me on behalf of the Resident Association to answer any questions. We also have an audit underway. Actually, an audit's underway under both organizations. We are supposed to get ours of the Resident Association this month, April 19th or so. So we'll be sharing that as well with you all as we have the exit interview and so forth with the executive committee. Thank you for that question. There are no stupid questions. I guarantee you, if anybody has a question, somebody else probably has the same question. So, Boyd, did you have a question back there?
Just ask the members of the project team if they should come back.
Yes. The remaining 2 members, we need you to sign the books back there. If you would make your way back there. Oh, 3, okay, great. 4 or 5, good. Excellent. And you will be, everyone will be checked off when you get a book, because we want to make sure that those who were not here, the books will be delivered to them so that they get a book as well. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Who was that? Who moved? Oh, thank you. Youngblood. Paul.
Youngdale.
I do that all the time. Paul Youngdale. Thank you, Paul. Is there a second in your name? Linda. What is that? Okay. Okay, friends, we are adjourned. Oh, we do need to vote on the motion